The infinite mirror. Close your eyes and imagine yourself walking into a long, narrow hallway made entirely of mirrors. Every surface reflects you endlessly, perfectly, unblinking. Ahead, you see your face repeating into infinity. Behind you, the same. You are standing at the midpoint of countless reflections, each one silent, each one still, each one you. You lift your hand, they all follow. You blink, they blink. But are they mimicking you, or are you mimicking them? Take a slow breath. Now, step forward. The reflections follow. But what if, just for a second, one didn't? What if one copy, far down the mirrored tunnel, blinked a moment too late? Would you even notice? Or would your mind protect you from that impossible moment? Now, imagine each reflection as more than just glass. Each one is a possibility, a different thought, a version of you who chose another path, one who stayed silent instead of speaking, one who turned left instead of right. They all watch you, quiet, patient, a thousand selves, all layered within time. Now close your eyes again, but this time in your imagination. Step deeper into this hall. The mirrors curve upward like a cathedral of selves. Some reflect you smiling, others grim. Some stand tall, some seem distant. One seems to know a secret. You try to look away, but that one holds your gaze. What is it trying to tell you? What do you know that you've forgotten? As you drift, the hallway changes. The mirrors soften, like water. You reach out, and your hand disappears into one. You feel warmth, memory, a voice from your past. A moment when you were 5, then 12, then 40. You haven't lived that age yet, but somehow, in the mirror, you already have. What if this mirror doesn't reflect the past or the present, but the total sum of you, across all time? What if time is the mirror? Every choice you didn't make, every word you didn't say, every life unlived, they're all here, quiet, watching, waiting. You sit in the middle of the hall, not afraid, but calm. The reflections don't feel distant now. They feel like fragments of a song you forgot you loved. One version of you is crying, another is dancing. One is sitting cross-legged, just like you, smiling gently, as if to say, it's okay to not have answers. In the farthest mirror, you see an old version of yourself, wrinkled, kind eyes. They nod. You don't know why, but you nod back. Somehow, it's the most peace you've felt in years. Now the mirrors begin to fade. One by one, the reflections dissolve into light. But you don't feel loss. You feel release. You stand, alone now, but whole. As sleep creeps in, let yourself fall gently, surrounded by echoes of who you are, who you were, who you might become, and ask yourself, if every version of you was watching, what kind of person would you be, even when no one else is? The room that remembers you. There is a room you've never been in, but it remembers you. You don't know how you got there, only that the walls feel familiar, like the inside of a memory you didn't live. The air carries your scent. The furniture is arranged as if expecting you. A book lies open on the table, mid-sentence, mid-thought, waiting, but you don't recall ever writing it. You step forward, and the floor creaks in a way that feels rehearsed. A chair leans slightly, precisely how you might leave it. On the wall, photographs not of your past, but of moments you never had. A dinner with people you've never met. A city you've never walked. A version of your face that looks older, softer, wiser, yet none of it feels wrong. You reach for the book. Its title is your name, but not the name you use. A name only one person ever called you, long ago. You turn the page. The words shift as you read them, adapting, becoming what you need, not what you want. It doesn't tell a story, it reflects one, as if your thoughts ink themselves into it in real time. The room is quiet, but not empty. It listens, it adjusts. The lighting dims when your mind drifts. A breeze stirs when your thoughts grow heavy. It's as though the space bends to your mood, echoing your inner rhythm. You sit. The seat is warm. Someone has been here. Maybe not someone else. Maybe just a former version of you. One who sat here years ago, or maybe tomorrow. You stand and trace the edge of a painting. It shows no image, just motion, colors in flux. But as you watch, the shapes settle. They become a place you used to dream about. You never spoke of it, never wrote it down. Yet here it is, perfectly preserved. The room not only remembers you, it remembers things you've forgotten or chosen to forget. There's a door you didn't notice before. You reach for it, but hesitate. A thought creeps in. Maybe this isn't a room at all. Maybe it's your mind, built into architecture, the way it reshapes, remembers, responds. Maybe it's been here the whole time, just behind your daily noise, a hidden chamber of memory and possibility. You don't open the door, not yet. Instead, you listen. There's no sound, but there's presence, like being watched without judgment, like someone is holding their breath on the other side, not to scare you, but because they care what you choose. You realize then, this room does not trap you. It holds you until you're ready. A soft hum begins, not music, but recognition. It vibrates through the floor, the air, your skin. It resonates with something in you, a decision you haven't made yet, a version of yourself you've been circling. The hum isn't urging, it's affirming. You're almost who you're meant to be. Almost. Not quite, but very close. You approach the mirror by the bookshelf. There's no reflection, only a window into another version of the room. And in that version, you're not alone. Someone sits across from you, quiet, content. You don't recognize them. Or maybe you do. Maybe they're the part of you that never needed approval, the one that stayed soft in a hard world. You press your hand to the glass. They do too. Neither of you smiles. There's no need. The moment is whole. It doesn't promise answers, only presence. And that somehow is enough. You turn back toward the center of the room. It no longer feels unfamiliar. This is not a dream. It is not a metaphor. It is something else. An echo, a resting place, a home between homes. Not for the body, but for the parts of the soul that don't know where else to go. As your thoughts begin to fade, the room stays with you, not in memory, but in texture, in the way you breathe, in the silence between your words. It will be there tomorrow and the day after, waiting, remembering, the stranger beneath your skin. You wake up one day and realize something subtle has shifted. Your hands look the same, but feel like they belong to someone else. The rhythm of your breathing is unfamiliar. The thoughts in your head arrive with accents you don't recognize. Something is inside you that wasn't there yesterday. Or maybe it always was. You look in the mirror. Your reflection meets your gaze, but slightly too late, as if it had to think first. You smile. It hesitates. You frown. It mirrors perfectly this time. You blink and lean closer. The face is yours, but the eyes aren't. They know something you don't. Throughout the day, strange instincts rise. You reach for objects without knowing why. You hum melodies you've never heard. You speak a word in a language you never learned. Then stop. Where did that come from? You laugh it off, but it lingers. As you walk outside, the world feels distant, like watching through glass. You notice details too vividly: a bird's wing, the crack in pavement, a woman's sigh 2 blocks away. Sounds arrive sharper, smells richer. It's beautiful. But you don't feel present, more like you're watching someone else experience it, like you're a passenger in your own body. Then a memory surfaces. It's not yours. You're 5, standing in a forest you've never visited. The trees hum with wind you've never felt. You can smell wet moss. A man calls a name, not yours, but you turn to it anyway. The memory fades. That night, your dreams are crowded, faces that don't belong to your past. You feel a life lived parallel to yours, one of loss, silence, fire, and resilience. You wake up with tears on your face, and yet you slept peacefully. The following days, your handwriting changes. The way you walk alters. Your favorite food suddenly tastes bland. You crave something you've never tried. You begin to suspect you're not alone inside yourself. Then, one quiet evening, you stop resisting. You sit in stillness, not trying to explain or control. Just listen, and something stirs. A presence, deep inside, like a whisper curling behind your ribs. Not hostile, not warm, simply there, watching, waiting, wondering if you're ready to acknowledge it. You speak aloud. Who are you? No answer, but your own voice sounds strange. You begin writing. Pages pour out, not from thought, but instinct. Symbols, names, emotions. A journal in a hand that isn't yours. The story it tells is haunting. A soul displaced, a being searching for home, a consciousness once torn, now finding form again. And it's doing so through you. You wonder if you're losing your mind. But you don't feel broken. You feel fuller, as if something long lost has returned. You recall that ancient cultures believed the self was never one, that a person was a gathering of voices, ancestors, past lives, possible selves. Maybe this is that. Maybe the boundary of identity has always been softer than we admit. In the following weeks, you change. Not dramatically, just enough. People notice your eyes. You look different, they say. You seem wiser, quieter, sadder maybe. You nod. What could you possibly tell them? Then one night, you have a conversation with yourself, but not quite. 2 thoughts in your head, distinct. One yours, one not. They don't argue. They wonder together, reflect together, and for a moment, the silence between thoughts feels like a cathedral. You stop fearing it. You begin to learn from it. The room without time. You find yourself inside a room. It has no door, no windows, no clock, no light source, and yet you see everything clearly. The walls are the color of forgotten memories, neither gray nor white, but something in between. There's a single chair, carved from a wood you can't name, and in the middle of the room, a candle burns. It is already lit. It always was. You sit, though you don't remember deciding to. The silence is not heavy, but endless. It does not press on you. It absorbs you. You try to remember how you got here. Nothing comes. You try to imagine leaving. You can't. Then you notice something strange. You haven't blinked. You haven't yawned. You feel no hunger, no thirst, no fatigue. You touch your skin, warm, alive, but untouched by time. You look at the candle. The flame is frozen. Perfect. Not still, but suspended, like a thought that never completes. You listen for the ticking of a clock. There is none. You wait for change. Nothing shifts. A realization dawns, slow and deep. This room exists outside of time, not just a place without clocks, but a place where time never began and never ends. You remember your name, then it fades. You recall your face. It becomes uncertain. In the absence of time, identity begins to dissolve. You are not aging. You are not moving. You are not waiting. You simply are. Thoughts come like birds, silent and sudden. Images, voices, fragments of lives. Some yours, some not. A child laughing in a field of tall grass. A soldier kneeling in snow. An old woman whispering secrets into the dark. You see them all at once. And somehow, they are all you. You question everything. Was this room always here? Have you always been inside it? Is this where you go when you dream? Or when you die? Or perhaps when you simply stop pretending that time is real? The candle still burns, but you now see it's not burning down. It is a symbol of what? You don't know. Maybe of constancy. Maybe of the illusion that something is always happening, when in truth, nothing ever has. You rise from the chair. Your body feels unchanged, but your mind does not. You pace, but there's no distance. You shout, but the sound never leaves your mouth. You weep, and the tears remain on your face, like stars fixed in the sky. Then you stop. You sit again. You breathe. You listen. And in the silence, something speaks, not in words, but in understanding. The message is clear. You are not trapped. You are eternal. And that truth is neither comforting nor frightening. It just is. You close your eyes, not from exhaustion, but from clarity. The candle still burns. The chair still waits. And somewhere, far away or deep within, time ticks on in another world, unaware that you ever left. The mirror that lies. In the center of a vast white hallway, there is a single mirror. No frame, no scratches, no dust. Just a smooth, perfect surface, tall enough to reflect your entire form, deep enough to make you feel like it might swallow you. You step in front of it and see yourself. But something feels wrong. Not grotesque, not unfamiliar, just off. Your face is yours, but your eyes hold a knowledge you don't possess. Your posture is straighter, your presence colder, more certain. You wave your hand. It waves back. You blink. It blinks. But the timing is strange, like an echo trying to keep up with the present. Then you notice. It smiles. You didn't. You lean in. So does it. But its expression shifts, subtly. Its eyes widen a little too much. Its smile curls a bit too high. You feel a chill behind your neck, but there is no wind in this hallway. You check your hands. Normal. Then check the reflection. They're bleeding. Fingers bent in ways yours are not. You look back at your own hands. No injury. No pain. You look at the mirror again. The figure now holds its gaze. Its mouth moves. You hear nothing, but you understand everything. I am not your reflection, it says, in your voice, from inside your skull. You are mine. You take a step back. The image stays still. You freeze. It starts to move. Slowly. It walks forward, but your body doesn't. And then a terrifying thought strikes you. What if you've never been on this side of the mirror? What if every moment you believed you were real? You were simply watching through the eyes of something else, something wearing your face, mimicking your thoughts, learning your habits. You begin to remember moments that didn't feel like yours, memories that played like dreams, or dreams that lingered like memories. A voice that told you to say something before you understood why. A decision that made no sense but felt necessary. A face in the mirror that blinked just a moment too late. You realize this mirror is not glass, it's a veil between two versions of you, one that believes it lives and one that truly does. But which is which? You test it. You raise your hand. The reflection doesn't follow. Instead, it smiles wider and whispers, "You're catching up." You press your palm against the surface. It's cold, but soft, almost like skin. The reflection mirrors the gesture, pressing against you, and suddenly, your hand passes through. You flinch, but too late. The surface pulls you in like water, like smoke, like thought. The hallway dissolves behind you. The reflection smiles no more. You are now inside, and outside, something else wears your face. The clock that counts backward. There is a room with no windows, only a single wooden chair, and on the wall across from it, a giant clock. Its hands move counterclockwise, tirelessly, silently, relentlessly. You sit. The ticking is faint, barely audible, but you feel it in your bones. With every backward second, something inside you loosens. Not your body, not your mind, something deeper. At first, nothing seems unusual, just time flowing in reverse. But then, strange sensations begin. You remember brushing your teeth, but now your mouth tastes like sleep again. You remember locking the door, but now it's unlocked. You check your phone. Your last messages begin to vanish. The most recent ones go first, like a string unraveling from its edge. Your thoughts start to echo. A word you just thought now feels like something you'll think. Memories begin to decay in the order they were created. You know you had breakfast, but now your stomach growls. You had an idea, but it's gone. You look around. The room is changing. Dust returns to corners that were clean. The wooden chair looks newer now. The clock's surface begins to shine. You stand, unsettled. Your legs are weaker, but not from exhaustion, from inexperience, as if your muscles forgot how to walk. You try to speak, but the words feel like they've not yet been learned. Language slips backward, slowly. You remember fewer names, fewer facts. The meaning of things becomes abstract. Then, the mirror appears. You don't remember it being there. You look inside. You see yourself, younger, slightly, then younger again. Wrinkles vanish, hair thickens, eyes become wider, emptier. You panic. You try to stop the clock. You rush toward it, but it's too high, too embedded. You try to smash it, but your fists are soft now, childlike, helpless. You scream, but it sounds like a baby's cry. Then nothing. Silence. Your body begins to shrink, but not from pain, from innocence. You forget what pain is. You forget what fear means. You forget what forgetting is. The room is now a nursery. The chair is a cradle. The mirror is gone. The ticking fades into a heartbeat. Then, darkness. But not the darkness of death. The darkness before light. A moment of total stillness. No time, no form, no self. And then you open your eyes. Somewhere else. Someone is holding you, smiling, They call you by a name you don't recognize, but it feels familiar. The window to the forbidden truth. You find yourself alone in a dimly lit room that has no doors, no ceiling, no floor, only endless darkness stretching into the void. In front of you is a small, circular window, no bigger than your palm. It glows faintly, like a distant star trapped behind thick glass. The glass itself appears warped, as if it's alive, breathing, pulsing with a rhythm you can almost hear. When you try to look through it, all you see is a dense, swirling fog. It's thick, impenetrable, like the mist of forgotten memories and lost hopes, hiding something vast and unknowable beyond. Then, from somewhere inside your mind, a voice echoes softly, neither comforting nor threatening, but certain. It says, "Look into the window, and you will see the truth that has been hidden from all who came before you. The truth no eye has ever witnessed, and no mind was prepared to hold." The voice is not a command, but a temptation, the kind that tugs at your soul with invisible threads, promising answers and danger in equal measure. You feel an urge to press your finger gently against the glass, to break the barrier between what is known and what is forbidden. You hesitate. This window does not show simple things like places or people. It does not reveal secrets or hidden knowledge. It reveals something deeper, something you have avoided your entire life without even realizing it. As your fingertip touches the cool surface, the fog begins to swirl faster, then parts like a curtain drawn aside by invisible hands. Suddenly, the window opens a view into a place not bound by time or space, a place beneath reality itself. What you see is not a picture or a scene. It is the raw essence of absence, a formless void, an endless blackness, dotted with empty points where meaning once existed, but now has dissolved. There is no structure, no logic, no narrative, only the disintegration of everything you ever believed was true. Here, time is exposed as a cruel illusion. It is not a line, nor a circle, but a chaotic storm that tosses moments like leaves in the wind with no direction or purpose. You see events unraveling, unhappening themselves, as though the entire universe were a fragile bubble, bursting and reforming endlessly. You watch ideas, your ideas, break apart into tiny, meaningless fragments. Your memories twist and fold in on themselves until they lose all shape. The person you believed yourself to be, the you who decided, hoped, dreamed, is revealed as a flickering shadow, a mere byproduct of chance and pattern. As you stare, a crushing realization settles over you. Free will is an illusion crafted to soothe a terrified mind. Your thoughts, desires, and fears are not truly your own. They are the echoes of forces far beyond your control. Genetics, environment, culture, all weaving threads in a tapestry you never chose to be part of. You see the endless chain of cause and effect laid bare. Every choice you believed was yours was already predetermined by the ones before. Every act of rebellion, every moment of freedom, every desperate leap of faith is simply a link in this infinite chain. There is no first link, no final one, just the endless continuation of cause and consequence. You feel your sense of identity beginning to unravel. If you are not free, if your mind is a puppet dancing to an ancient song, then what is left of you? What remains when the story of choice is stripped away and only inevitability remains? The window slowly begins to close, the fog reclaiming its place with creeping tendrils that swallow the void. but the knowledge you've glimpsed lingers, settling like cold ash in your bones. You step back, but you are forever changed. You will return to your daily life, to your familiar routines and comforting lies. But the echo of this forbidden truth will never fade. You try to speak of what you saw, but the words escape you. Language is a fragile tool, incapable of capturing the vastness of what you have witnessed. The forbidden truth is not information, it is a wound, a silent scream in the dark, a secret that isolates you even from yourself. You realize that some knowledge comes at a cost too high to pay. The truth is not freedom, it is the collapse of all that you trusted. And yet, a part of you knows that ignorance was never truly an option, because now that you have seen through the window, you cannot unsee it. In the silence that follows, you wonder, is it better to live in blissful ignorance or bear the weight of this terrible clarity alone? As sleep approaches, your mind drifts back to the window, its faint glow pulsing in the darkness. The forbidden truth waits, always just beyond the glass, inviting you to return. But for now, you close your eyes and let the darkness take you, carrying the secret deep into your dreams. The Silent Symphony. You find yourself in a vast, empty concert hall. Rows of empty seats stretch into the shadows, and a grand piano sits alone on the stage, its polished surface gleaming faintly in the dim light. No one else is here. The silence is so complete, it feels like a living presence, heavy and expectant. You walk toward the piano, your footsteps muffled by a thick velvet carpet. As you sit, the keys await your touch, black and white like the contrasts within your own mind. You press a key, and a single note fills the hall. It's pure, resonant, vibrating through the stillness like a whisper in a vast canyon. The note lingers, echoing softly, then fades. You press another, then another, weaving a fragile melody from the silence. Each note seems to awaken something unseen, something beyond sound, a presence watching, listening. As you play, you realize this music isn't just notes and rhythm. It's a language without words, an expression of things you cannot say aloud. The hall fills with a symphony that is both external and internal. Your thoughts and feelings translated into sound waves that ripple through the air and through your own consciousness. You begin to understand this silent symphony is the soundtrack of your inner life. Every joy, every sorrow, every hidden hope, and buried regret resonates here, transformed into music that speaks where words fail. The melody is imperfect, sometimes discordant, sometimes breathtakingly beautiful, just like your own story. The music flows through you and around you, shaping the space itself. The walls of the concert hall shimmer and shift, revealing scenes from your past. You see moments of triumph and failure, love and loss, fear and courage. Each scene is paired with a corresponding note or chord that captures its essence perfectly. You play on, letting the music guide you deeper into yourself. You discover melodies you never knew you could create, harmonies that bring peace, rhythms that awaken forgotten strength, and quiet pauses that offer rest. The silence between notes becomes as important as the sounds themselves, a space for reflection and renewal. But the symphony also reveals the dissonance within, the unresolved conflicts, the questions that have no answers, the contradictions that make you who you are. You learn to embrace these imperfections, to let them become part of the music instead of fighting them. In doing so, you find a strange kind of harmony born from acceptance. As the final note fades, the concert hall returns to silence. The music has ended, but its effects linger. You feel lighter, clearer, as if a burden has been lifted. The Silent Symphony has shown you that your inner world is not something to be feared or controlled, but a living, breathing work of art, always unfinished, always evolving. You rise from the piano bench, knowing you can return to this place whenever you need to hear the music of your soul. And as you leave the hall, the silence follows you gently, not as emptiness, but as a space where new melodies can begin. As sleep takes hold, let the silent symphony play softly in the background of your mind, guiding you into dreams where your true self can be heard. The Labyrinth of Thoughts. You step into a labyrinth made entirely of light and shadow. The walls pulse softly with colors that shift and change, reflecting the moods of your mind. This maze is unlike any physical place you've known. It's shaped by your thoughts, fears, and memories, constantly rearranging as you move. Each turn holds a new fragment of yourself, waiting to be discovered. At the entrance, the path forks in two directions. One passage glows warmly, inviting and familiar. The other is dim and tangled, filled with whispers of doubts and questions you have long avoided. You hesitate, knowing that whichever path you choose, you will learn something new, something necessary. You decide to walk toward the light first. The walls brighten, and the air feels lighter. Along this path, you encounter visions of your happiest moments, times when you felt free, loved, and confident. They shimmer like stars, reminding you of your strength and resilience. As you move deeper, these memories grow more vivid, and you realize they aren't just past experiences. They are beacons lighting your way forward. But the labyrinth is not just a place of comfort. Soon, the path narrows and bends, leading you to a chamber filled with mirrors. Each mirror reflects a different version of yourself, some joyful, some fearful, some angry, some peaceful. You study these reflections, trying to understand their stories and how they connect to the person you are now. Suddenly, one mirror ripples like water. You reach out, and your hand passes through. On the other side is the other path, the shadowed corridor. Without hesitation, you step through, entering the dim passage of uncertainty and doubt. The air here is thick with silence. Shadows dance along the walls, shapes that resemble fears you've held close but never fully faced. Here, you confront your insecurities, your regrets, the parts of yourself you wish you could change. It's uncomfortable, even painful. But as you walk, you begin to recognize that these shadows are not enemies. They are parts of you, waiting for acceptance. You pause in a quiet alcove and breathe deeply. The walls soften, the shadows fade, and the colors blend into a calm, soothing hue. You feel a growing sense of peace, not because the fears have disappeared, but because you have acknowledged them without judgment. As the labyrinth reshapes itself around you, a new path emerges, leading to the center, a place where light and shadow merge. You arrive at a tranquil garden, bathed in twilight. Here, the air is filled with the scent of jasmine and the gentle hum of distant music. This is the heart of the labyrinth, a sanctuary where all parts of you coexist in harmony. You sit beneath an ancient tree, its roots deep in the earth, its branches reaching toward the sky. You close your eyes, letting the quiet wash over you. In this place, the endless maze of your mind becomes still. The walls dissolve, and you understand that the labyrinth is not a prison, but a journey, a dance between light and shadow that shapes your very being. As you rest, you realize that the labyrinth will always be with you, a reflection of your inner landscape. But now, you carry its map within your heart, guiding you through every twist and turn. Allow this journey through the labyrinth of thoughts to lull your mind into peaceful rest. Let the balance of light and shadow carry you gently into sleep, where new paths await. The silent conversation. In the quiet threshold between wakefulness and sleep, there exists a profound space where words lose meaning and communication becomes a pure exchange of essence. Here, you engage in a silent conversation, a dialogue without speech, sound, or even thought in the traditional sense. It is a communion between your conscious self and the deeper layers of your mind, where understanding transcends language and every feeling resonates with truth. Imagine sitting comfortably in this liminal space, your eyes closed, body relaxed, heart steady. Across from you is not a person, but a reflection of your inner self, the part that witnesses your life without judgment or expectation. This presence is patient and compassionate, embodying the wisdom of all your experiences, the light and shadow entwined. It is your truest companion. No words are spoken. Instead, sensations and emotions flow freely between you, like ripples spreading gently over a still lake. You sense the unspoken questions within yourself, the worries you carry, the hopes you nurture, the memories you sometimes avoid. And in response, a quiet reassurance arises, a soft echo of acceptance and understanding. There is no pressure here to explain, defend, or argue, just a gentle acknowledgement of all that you are. The silent conversation unfolds naturally, like a dance between awareness and surrender. Sometimes, fleeting thoughts appear, delicate and weightless, asking to be noticed. What do you need right now? One might seem to ask. Another whispers, release the tension you hold in your shoulders. Let go of the burdens that tire your mind. You do not have to answer these questions with words. Instead, you simply allow the feelings to pass through you, observing without resistance. This dialogue deepens as your breathing slows and your muscles soften. The noise of daily life fades into the background, replaced by the subtle rhythm of your own being. You become aware of how often your mind races, grasping at problems, replaying conversations, imagining futures. But here, in this silent exchange, such restlessness quiets. You learn that silence is not emptiness, but fullness, a vast space where healing begins. As the conversation continues, you sense a gentle transformation within. The tension you once carried begins to dissolve, replaced by a soothing warmth. It is as if the very act of being heard, even without words, brings relief. You feel lighter, freer, more whole. There is no need to fix anything. You simply are. In this moment, you recognize that the silent conversation is a powerful tool for relaxation. It reconnects you with your core, reminding you that peace is always available, even amidst chaos. It invites you to trust the natural process of rest, to embrace vulnerability, and to surrender control. Before you drift fully into sleep, Your inner companion offers one final thought, a truth whispered on the breeze of your mind. Rest is not weakness, but strength. In stillness, you gather the energy to face tomorrow's challenges. In silence, you nurture the seeds of growth. Sleep is not an end, but a vital passage, a sacred journey where your mind and body renew and restore. Let this silent conversation be your nightly refuge. Whenever stress or noise threatens to overwhelm, return to this space within yourself. There, you will always find calm, compassion, and clarity. Now, as your eyelids grow heavy and your breath deepens, allow the silent conversation to carry you gently into the realm of dreams. Drift on the waves of quiet understanding, safe, whole, and deeply at peace. Rest now. Sleep well. Your mind's quiet dialogue continues, weaving threads of calm through your night, preparing you for the light of a new day.